Hello, guys, and welcome back to Livebox on Live at the Quays. I myself, Alex Charles, and as always, I'm joined by the amazing Anna. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So this week on episode 10, we're going to talk about two different topics. We're going to talk about the Jacob Blake shooting first, and then we're going to go on to Cardi B's new song. So should we get straight into it?
Yeah, we should. Let's go.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I'm going to quickly run through the events of what happened with the Jacob Blake shooting in the US. So Jacob Blake was 29 and was shot several times in the back as he entered his car, where there were three of his children seated. His family said that he had been left paralyzed from the waist down, although the doctors weren't really sure if it was permanent. So there was one guy that filmed it, and he said that the officers did begin to wrestle him, punch him, and taser him before they shot him. And you could sort of hear in the video him saying that they shot my son 7 times and stuff like that.
Yeah, see the video.
And yeah, the video was just very traumatic to watch. I sort of seen it on the news a couple of times, and it was 2 white officers that shot. Well, it was 2 white officers that were involved, and obviously the officer that shot him was white as well. And you could hear all the screaming from the people standing by, just seeing it all.
Yeah, it's horrific what you can hear.
It was just
the
horrific.
Bystanders, they know they can't do anything.
The crazy thing about it is that it comes, I think, more or less a month after the whole. No, was it? I think it's 3 months now. 3 months.
3 months. I think George Floyd was the end of July.
Yeah. So it's about 3 months.
It was June. I think it was June.
Yeah. So
George Floyd was shot in June.
That was 3 months ago, and
yeah,
it's more or less the same situations happened again, and
yeah,
it's just people just don't seem to understand. I get maybe yes, I don't know to what extent he was in the wrong in regards to why the police had to question him or whatever. But I always see it as,
yeah, of course.
You should never, even if you're going to pull someone over, you shouldn't pull them over with the intention to kill them or shoot them. Because if you're pulling them over, you're pulling them over to question them, not to shoot them. So it's I just don't understand that aspect of it. But it's I think personally...
No, definitely not.
I think personally that, especially in the society we live today, which I've already seen a lot of this going around recently, is that people are very sort of naive to understand the importance of learning about the way Black people are treated and people of color to the way white people are treated. And it's very clear, and the people that often brush it aside are the white people that don't want to admit that they do have the white privilege.
They don't want to admit that they have privilege. I do know plenty of people who've realised, during this time, since George Floyd's death, they've realised their privilege and they've educated themselves on their privilege.
Yeah, and I totally agree.
They've been using it positively to tell people this is what's happening. Inequality is real. We need to.
I totally agree with that. But my thing is that if you can't see, if you find all of this acceptable to a point where you don't reach out to any of your Black friends to be do you want to help me out, educate me or whatever, or you just don't seem to do anything at all, you're part of the problem. Because it's a sheer fact that you don't see anything wrong with it and you're just sitting there.
No. I don't get how you can't, after everything that's been shown in the media, I don't get how you can not, how can you be okay with it? Why are you letting it be this way?
It's all the fakery and the lies and people covering up for a brand. And I was saying this to...
They don't want to admit it. They don't want to
they don't want to admit it, but at the same time, they're scared of looking a certain way. And I was saying this to one of my mates before I came on. We were basically just saying that there were so many people throughout that whole period that were trying to cover up their brand or their social media presence, right? So they'll post.
Yeah.
All they posted was that little black square because that was enough activism.
Blackout Tuesday.
Yeah. So they just
weren't
posted that. But then this is the thing.
Yeah, I
They
didn't.
would either
But they
post
weren't
that and
posting.
call it a
They
day.
weren't posting the links.
Yeah, they'll post it, call it a day, or
They
they'll
weren't
post
posting links to petitions or where you could donate.
Exactly.
They weren't
Or
posting
then,
any resources to educate people on it. So
or
I
then
was still aware.
even worse, they'll post it, and then 2 weeks later, once it's all died down, they'll delete it.
Yeah.
Like no one saw it.
No,
and just
it's
repost
shocking.
like their normal posts with like tagging like all the clothing stores and stuff like that. And it's like, if you want to do that, that's fine.
It's really disappointing.
Because I know so many people that have done it. It's like, if you want to do that, that's fine.
People treat it like a social media trend. It shouldn't have been. It's not a trend. It's a movement.
It's stupid because it's like
ridiculous.
People think that we forget what you've done. Like I may not say anything to you, and I may still act like we're cool, or I may still act like, oh, we're friends or whatever. But people don't forget that sort of thing. You paint a very big name for yourself when you start doing these things, and there's no excuse nowadays to educate yourself on what is going on in the world. There is no excuse, and I think people who have this mindset of believing that what people of color and black people have been facing over these years is acceptable, I can't agree with it.
Really not. I can't believe it's taken people this long to realise that.
It's the fact that it was as you said, it was the fact that it was treated as a trend, and it went around so quick.
People they posted their black square in the hashtag, nothing else. They didn't bother to educate themselves or. When was
the last time you saw a white person from either our university or one of your friends, randomly post something about black people?
The worst thing is I can name one time, and it was 3 days ago. Have you seen this thing? It was Netflix. Are you still watching Black Lives Matter? Yes. No. Have you seen that post circulating?
Yeah, I've seen that. I mean, like since like before like this whole George Floyd thing, no one would mention anything about it.
No, I saw before George Floyd. I saw nothing. It's
all of a sudden, you guys are like now trying to recover yourselves. It's like you had.
I know it shouldn't be. It should be carrying it on.
This is why I just didn't want to get I personally didn't want to get involved in it, but then part of me was like, I sort of felt that if I didn't, I would be frowned upon by the people like within my community. But at the same time, I have nothing to prove because this isn't my fault. This is
you shouldn't. Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't have
but
to.
At the same time, it's like
it's not like you shouldn't feel like you shouldn't feel like you have to prove it.
Exactly, because it's like all these people that have all of a sudden spoke up. None of them said through before this whole George Floyd situation happened. None of them.
And it was some of the people I saw sharing things were people who've been openly racist towards me and other people in the past. They've openly said they've thrown racial slurs at me. They've openly said the N-word. I'm thinking, why now? Why now?
It's because they want to look good. They want
after what you said in the past.
It boils down to three things. It boils down to this is the problem that they have, right? They know that the society is racist. They know they have a head start. They know that their life is more or less not sorted, but they know that they'll always have something there for them. And they know the government.
They know they're going to be advantaged in life.
They don't want to admit that. And when they see situations like this happen, they hop on it if it's a trend. If this whole thing didn't become the trend that it was, they wouldn't have said anything because they don't feel no type of way. They would have just gone back home and lived their life. They wouldn't have said nothing. And it's like half the people that were posting all the links and stuff like that didn't even go to a flipping march. It's like, okay, I get that if you can't do it, you can't do it. But
there are some people I know who. I remember in Chester, where I live, we had a protest that me and some friends went to, and one of my other friends, her dad is at high risk, so she couldn't go out. But what they did was stream the protest on Facebook, so people who were vulnerable and couldn't go to it got to march for it then. And I found like
it's like my mum didn't really want me to go because of the whole COVID situation.
Yeah, of course. And it was when it was at its peak.
Obviously, I'm not gonna disrespect my mum and like just go out and then
Definitely
come back and probably contract it. But the thing for me was that all these people who kept quiet, didn't say anything, and then all the people that were just posting a square and keeping it stepping and then deleting it afterwards, or like just doing that one thing. It's like, do you really expect me to like not say anything to you when I see you next time? Because it was like, there was this one, who was it? It was Zoella. Oh, I don't understand
Oh
how no one
goodness
called her out
me.
about this. So basically, Zoella just posted a single square, and bear in mind, Zoella must have what, over 8
She's
million
got a
followers.
very big following.
She
Like
has she has a
young
very big
people who
following,
follow her.
and what I don't understand is how you can have that many people follow you. You post a black square, and that is it. You didn't do, and this is the thing that pisses me off. She never does anything for black people. So why are you
No,
talking now? You've not done a
definitely
single thing
not.
for black people, and why are you talking? The same goes for Demi from Love Island. She posted a black square and said Blackout Tuesday, and you kept it stepping. Her with her 1 point whatever million followers, or how many it is.
These
And it's
people's
like,
followers are in
you've
millions,
not
so
done
they've got people
anything for
listening
black,
to
like
them.
you've not done anything for black people, and you're
No,
saying, oh, you stand with us. Like, cool, you don't have to say, just do it. Just do it. Like, you don't have to.
actions speak louder than words.
Exactly, just do it. Like, you're doing all this to cover up your brand, so you don't
They
lose
don't
out
have to be doing that.
on your little discount code or whatever. Like,
Use code Demi10 for 10% off.
stupid. It's like all she done was post a square and kept it stepping. It's like, I don't understand how people can still
No.
respect that. And this is a sad thing that people.
I don't know
look up
how
to
so many people have been getting away with it.
people look up to it. It's like people. I'm surprised so many people haven't called that. There's a long list of. It's like people. It's Demi, Zoella, and do you know what the funniest part
So
about this is?
many.
Right. So Tanya Burr, who I don't know if they're still friends, but is used to be friends with Zoella. Like, they used to be.
Yeah, she's affiliated with her in some
So
way.
Tanya Burr, when this whole thing was happening, right, she put all the links in her bio. She made a separate highlight story and filled it with everything to do
Yeah.
with Black Lives Matter. You can't tell me that if that's your friend and you follow them and you see that on their feed, you wouldn't think in your mind for 1 second, oh, maybe it's a good idea to do that. Like,
I know, like,
just maybe, with my following, who is more than hers, maybe I should take some.
Zoella has a larger following than Tanya Burr, so it surely, if I had as large of a following as she had, and saw people who are friends with
She's just
smaller
stupid.
followings than me, I'd
It's like
say, right,
everyone.
I need to speak up. I need to use my following the same way. I need to speak up about it now.
Everyone hopped on it when it was a trend, and then when people started to riot, they started to call us thugs, and then when people started to protest, they started to call us thugs. It's like, what do you expect us to do? I'm not saying rioting is a good. I'm not saying like.
You just can't win. It's ridiculous.
I'm not saying rioting is a good idea yet, but it's like when you push someone to a point where,
Yeah.
like, so what we've all. This is the thing that annoys me, and it's like when you push people to a point of they have nothing left. It's like you are all we're doing is asking for equality and respect, and people are saying but, and then they're trying to throw in. This is the one thing that I've seen this week that has annoyed me so much. It's people saying, "Oh, Black Lives Matter, gay lives matter, trans lives matter." No one is saying gay lives or trans lives don't matter. That is not the situation.
It's like the people.
Talking about.
It's like those middle-aged women who are like, "Oh, all lives matter." Well,
exactly, it's the same. It's the same. No one is saying that your life doesn't. All we're saying is we're asking for respect and equality, and to be treated fairly like white people. That's all we've been asking for the past 500 years, and everyone is just saying but. It's like that's all we're doing, and everyone's saying but, and it's like, oh, what? So now, when we're angry and heated and we start rioting and protesting, we can't do that. So what do you expect us to do? Sit at home?
It's ridiculous. People need to sort it out.
It's stupid because it's like sooner or later people are going to realize. Sooner or later people are going to realize, because it's like you can only keep pushing people for so long, and it's like I reckon that was a small snippet of what's to come. I really reckon that's
definitely. I think this is only the beginning.
Yeah, because this is the thing, right? It's like when you look at it, in every protest, black people outnumbered the police by God knows how many. Yes, a lot of them got arrested, but the matter of it is that you keep saying to us, oh, you're thugs, you're all of this. it all started off as a peaceful protest. You allowed it to get to this stage. You allowed your people to start killing our people. None of this would have happened if you treated us equally. And then in you killing our people, you're painting that mindset in people's heads of it's okay to do this. It's okay to view black people differently to white people. It's okay to do that.
Yeah, and they
And
shouldn't be. They
that's when
shouldn't be
it
doing
all
that. They need to
trickles
be doing
down
it.
into family trees. And that's when people grow up with that mindset of viewing black people differently and treating them differently
Yeah.
when they're with them and when they're with their other friends and talking to them differently and then viewing them differently as though they can't be respected, loved, or treated the same. It's all a massive mind game. It's all a massive mind game. And it's the same people that say, "Oh, I only date black people." It's the same people, because it's like you're only viewing them for something you've seen on the media or something like that. It's like you're not respecting them for who they are. It's the same kind of people.
No.
It's all messed up, and it's like it's proof that the government don't respect people of color or black people, because if they did, they would teach black history properly, not just the Martin Luther King side of it, the actual proper side of it, and the successive side of it. And I think as well, especially in university, I think they need to do a lot more effort in covering black history and covering in general black success stories, because when you're living with these people or when you see these people every day and you know their views, me being the only black boy in my class and knowing that I'm walking into a class with 30 odd white people and I'm the only black boy in that class, knowing that these people view me very differently, I can't do anything about it. It's a very difficult situation to explain unless you can relate. And it's like, no, it's like you can't relate to it. And this is the thing, they'll say,
they've grown up with being in classes full of people who look like them, who are the same race as them.
Exactly.
They don't understand.
It baffles my mind how people can do that, but we're going to move on because we can talk about this for days. And
we could have a whole episode on this.
We could just do a whole series on this.
We could have a separate series talking about this. The amount of stuff we've got to say.
We could go on for this, but the next topic we're going to talk about is Cardi B and her new song, WAP. Now, that's been all over TikTok. So for those who don't know, Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion basically released a new song called WAP.
Do you know what WAP stands for? Are we allowed to say on here what WAP stands for? Or is this a family-friendly show?
So they're both US rappers. It's an X-rated track, and I'll leave it as that. I'm just going to leave it as that.
We aren't allowed to say that.
It basically celebrates like female sexual pleasures and like assets. I'll say that.
I mean, that's pretty much a summary of.
It was released, and then it got like obviously a number of different opinions. But I think what they wanted to do was, I think what they said in an interview actually was they released the track to sort of mimic what rappers do nowadays. So you get a lot of male rappers that talk about girls in a very sort of sexualized way and talk about them in sort of very disrespectful way.
It's very degrading, a lot of it.
Yeah, they wanted to do the opposite. So they made a song about themselves, but talking about themselves the way male rappers will talk about them, but sort of celebrating what they have. So I think it was, they released the video on YouTube and it's got over 134 million views so far.
Yeah.
And it's been a massive hit on TikTok.
Someone choreographed a dance to it, and all the Addison Rae's been doing it. Addison Rae's mother has been doing it.
It's crazy
everywhere.
And they say I think they said Cardi B said in an interview that the people that the song bothers are usually like the conservatives or really religious people that sort of don't understand what the song is about and stuff like that.
They're probably the type of people who are they follow the Bible, which states no sex before marriage, no.
Yeah, But
The
did
people who
also
follow that religiously and therefore are offended by the song.
100%. But Cardi B did also say that she said that she must be doing something right because this is the song that people want to hear because of the views that it's got, and also if people didn't want to hear it, or if they were so afraid of like what they wanted to hear, it wouldn't be doing as good. And I'm not gonna lie, she's been
No, but it's smashing it. It's right up there.
Don't get me wrong, like it's not a bad song, but it's doing well. Like for you to get your song on TikTok,
the message is getting through.
Yeah, the message is getting like put it this way, if you're not a closed mind person, the message will get through to you.
Definitely.
And personally, my opinion of the song is that I understand the message of the song. I'm not a huge fan of the song, but I respect it highly, and it has a good beat. I don't know what your opinion of the song is.
I suppose if you just listen to the song without the lyrics, you're thinking, oh, this is inappropriate, it's rude. But the deeper meaning is that women should be empowered. I think people need to see that.
I think the song sort of promotes the values of men and women actually, in the right way. Because when you think about it, if a man was to make this song and talking about empowering men, I actually reckon that it wouldn't blow. Because
definitely not.
Unless it's a massive artist, a lot of men nowadays, right, they don't like to uplift people. And this is what I found, because when you go on like girls' Instagrams, you see strangers that are girls like saying uplifting people and being like, oh, you look really good.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
Girls supporting girls, that's what the whole thing is.
You will never
girls
find
supporting girls.
Because boys are too insecure and stuff, and they think that they're higher than everyone else and stuff like that. Like, to be fair, I honestly think that it's sad, because it's like I would always like be like to my boys, this outfit looks like sick on you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like you'll get the odd few, but it's like you'll never.
But not every boy will be like that.
Yeah, you'll never continuously find like boys who uplift other boys. Like it's a very hard thing to find. It's a very hard thing to find.
Girls are the opposite. We have even with girls we barely know. Like, say we randomly meet strangers in the toilets on our night out, we'll compliment them and say your hair's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's like even things like that. It's like.
But you wouldn't. Boys don't act the same.
You wouldn't find that with boys, because boys don't seem to understand that thing is normal. They just see it as, oh, you're being too feminine or whatever. But then at the end of the day,
it's not.
It's just called being respectful, and it's called just being nice. And it's just like people don't understand that. So my last sort of point to you before we wrap up this whole episode is, do you think people will sort of have the right to be angry or concerned that this type of music is being released? Because obviously there's a multitude of artists in this world that are releasing very different genres of music, from rap to country to hip hop. But in this sort of day and age, do you think with the audience that can listen, do you think that this type of music being listened to, people should be angry or concerned about it? Because obviously the government now are trying to like ban lots of drill music and stuff like that, because they're affiliating it with a lot of violence. And to be fair, personally, I disagree with that whole drill relates to violence, because I think that if you listen to a song and then think, okay, I'm gonna go stab someone, that is on you. That is not on the artist.
That's a you problem. That's not on the artist.
Exactly. The artist didn't step in the booth. The artist didn't step in the booth and make a song to say, okay, this guy's now gonna go shoot someone or whatever. That wasn't their intention. Not the message. Their intention was to make a song that people like.
Yeah, they need to listen to the deeper meaning of the lyrics.
Exactly.
Rather than
I think
on the surface.
I think people should understand the meaning of the song and stop being so closed-minded, and just don't get so easily triggered because it's something that you don't agree with. It's like there's so many songs that it's like there's so many songs out there that people can easily get triggered to, and I knew people would get triggered to this one.
Honestly, nowadays you can be offended by pretty much anything. It doesn't even
Exactly.
have to have any offensive meaning, and people will still find something to complain about.
Because you know what the ironic thing is that people will say, "Oh, this like WAP in particular is like a bad song," but then because it's about empowering females and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But then they'll
but I
go
think
blast.
they just see.
Yeah, but
They
then they'll
just
go
hear,
blast
the
drill music
X-rated
and-
words. They just hear
Yeah.
the bad words. They hear the lyrics and think,
Exactly.
this is.
But then they'll happily start like rapping music about stabbing people and shooting people up,
No,
and then screaming "F the police" and stuff like that. And it's like you can't say that isn't bad, but then
that is
you're
bad.
talking about WAP, which is about empowering. I'm not saying that drill music is bad, because there are, yes, bad songs on there,
Yeah,
but there are songs that I like. But it's like I always see it as it's a song that I like. I don't like how do I describe it? It's like if I can relate to a song, I like it. But if I like the
songs are
message,
better when you
also
can
if I
relate
like
to
the
them.
message behind the song, I like it as well. And it's
Definitely.
like that doesn't mean that you have to reenact what they're doing or whatever. It's just stupid.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. If you're a female, you don't have to go out and have sex to be empowering. You listen to the lyrics, take the message, and there you go.
Exactly. But I think that's all for today, because we could go on and on and on. But
Definitely.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and drop a thumbs up if you liked it. But for now, that's all on Livebox. I've been Alex Charles, joined by the lovely Anna, and we will catch you guys next week with episode 11. Thanks, guys, for watching. Peace out.
Bye.